There they are. I think I see them.
Shh, not so loud. We can't let them hear us.
Well, it's just like you said it was. They're all just sitting and lying around. It looks like a couple of them are sleeping.
I see them too. And there's Jesus. He's saying something to the disciples. I can barely hear him, but it sounds like he's telling them to stay awake. And something about going off to pray by himself?
Yeah, there he goes. Oh, should I say, here he comes. He's coming right towards us. Oh, don't say a word. He's close enough to hear us. Okay, he's gone back to the disciples. He can't hear us now.
Did you hear what he prayed?
I sure did. Now we know he is afraid, and at the end, he is in fear.
I'm not sure I got it all, but I heard him pray, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not what I want, but what you want."
That's what I heard too. Wait, now he's scolding the disciples because they fell asleep while he was praying. Wow, listen to what he's saying to them. So you could not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you may not come to the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
What is this time of trial? Oh no, here he comes again. Shh.
Now he's gone back again.
This time I heard him pray, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I can drink it, your will be done."
He sounds so afraid and so worn out.
And yet he is completely submitting to the word and will of God.
This time, he's not saying anything to the disciples because they're asleep, not a word. I can't tell whether he's given up on them or is he trying to let them rest so he can spare them his agony.
Oh no, here he comes again. And this time he's coming even closer.
I can't believe that he hasn't seen us.
And did you notice his prayer was the same this time? It's like he's run out of things to pray for, like there's nothing left after having placed himself in God's hands.
Now he's talking to the disciples again, saying something about being asleep and the hour is at hand, and something about a betrayer.
Oh my gosh, it's Judas. I hadn't even noticed he wasn't there.
Grace, look at all the other people. And they're carrying torches and clubs and swords.
And Judas is approaching Jesus. Did he just kiss Jesus?
Yes, he did. And now the crowd is closing in on Jesus. They're going to take him away. Grace, this is the time. This is the hour. This is what he's been telling us about since the day we met at his baptism.
Did you see that? One of the disciples just drew his sword and cut off one of the guard's ears.
And even now, Jesus scolds the disciple, telling him, "Put your sword back into its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword."
And then, as God is my witness, Jesus just touched the guard's ear and he's healed.
I can't believe this. It's all happening so fast. I never saw this coming.
Pacem, what are we going to do? We promised we would stay with him and protect him. And now they're taking him away, and we're just standing here.
I don't know. I don't know. There's so many of them, and they have swords and clubs, and if we do anything, they will likely take it out on Jesus.
I can't just stand here and watch this. I I don't know what else to do.
All I can think of is this. Let's keep following at a distance, and then we watch for a moment to rescue him. All I know is that I will stick to my vow. I will follow him to the end. Even if I am not able to save him, I will not abandon him. I will remain with him, even if it means being there when he takes his last breath.
Count me in. We've come this far together, and I'm not willing to abandon him either. Let's keep praying that God gives us the moment we will be waiting for when we can save him.
Amen. Oh my gosh, just a couple of hours ago, we vowed to remember Jesus when we broke bread and drank the cup. Even if we can't save him, by staying with him, we are remembering him.
And may he also remember us.
The first reading is from Matthew. Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee and began to be grieved and agitated. Then he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and stay awake with me." And going a little further, he threw himself on the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not what I want, but what you want." Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter, "So could you not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Again, he went away for the second time and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done." Again, he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the third time, saying the same words. Then he came to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? See, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand."
While Jesus was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "The one I will kiss is the man. Arrest him." At once he came up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you're here to do." Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. Suddenly, one of those with Jesus put his hand on his sword, drew it, and struck the slave of the high priest, cutting off his ear. Then Jesus said to him, "Put your sword back into its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. Do you think I cannot appeal to my Father, and he will at once send me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled, which say it must happen in this way?" At that hour, Jesus said to the crowds, "Have you come out with swords and clubs to arrest me as if though I was a bandit? Day after day I sat in the temple teaching, and you did not arrest me. But all this has taken place, so that the scriptures of the prophets may be fulfilled." Then all the disciples deserted him and fled.
When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together against Jesus in order to bring about his death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate the governor. Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said, "You say so." But when he was accused by the chief priests and elders, he did not answer. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many accusations they make against you?" But he gave him no answer, not even to a single charge. So the governor was greatly amazed. Now at the festival, the governor was accustomed to release a prisoner for the crowd, anyone whom they wanted. At that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Jesus Barabbas. So after they had gathered, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release for you? Jesus Barabbas or Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy. That they had handed him over while he was sitting on the judgment seat. His wife sent word to him, "Have nothing to do with this innocent man, for today I have suffered a great deal because of a dream about him." Now the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus killed. The governor again said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what should I do with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" All of them said, "Let him be crucified." Then he asked, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified."
They crucified my Lord, and he never said a mumble word. They crucified my Lord, and he never said a mumble word. Not a word, not a word.
So when Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took some water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves. Then the people as a whole answered, his blood be on us and on our children. So he released Barabbas for them. And after flogging Jesus, he handed them over to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed on his in his right hand and knelt before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him, and then led him away to crucify him.
As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they offered him wine to drink, mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves by casting lots. There they sat down there and kept watch over him. Over his head they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then 2 bandits were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests also, along with the scribes and elders, were mocking him, saying, "He saved others, but he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now. If he wants to," he said, "I am God's son." The bandits who were crucified with him also taunted him in the same way.
One of the criminals who was hanged there kept deriding Jesus and saying, "Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you're under the same sentence of condemnation? And we have been condemned justly, for we are getting what we deserve for our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." He replied, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise."
From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani," that is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "This man is calling for Elijah." At once, one of them ran and got a sponge and filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick and gave it to him to drink. But the others said, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him." Then Jesus cried again, with a loud voice and breathed his last.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to